Manage and delegate this competition honestly and professionally while simulating an authentic bid submission for a previously completed project. During the past few months, teams experienced at 2 stages. The first stage was an electronic bid submission, and the second was a hard copy submission that was time-stamped at their local construction association. During this competition, competitors were required to review subtrades and suppliers to determine if they were compliant, draft construction schedules, create site mobilization plans, arrange bonding, draft professional construction documents, and submit RFIs for a previously completed construction project. This competition was not about how low of a price to submit, like a traditional contractor's role. This competition and its executive board were looking for accuracy, professionalism, innovation, completeness, and most importantly, compliant bidders. We experienced record-setting numbers across the board from this year from participating schools, competing teams, and most importantly, the overall submission quality of each of the bids. When grading the submissions this year, we removed their team names, the educational facility reference, and allocated each submission with a numerical identification number in order that they were processed. This was our attempt to remove any biased opinions or preferences to teams and their educational facilities while ranking their submissions. It has been another eventful year, and I would like to commend the directors team from this year for their contributions and excellent management of their positions. I'm truly proud to have represented such an exceptional group of future leaders, and would like to personally thank all of you for your efforts. I would now like to introduce the honorary chair of the TCIC National Student Bid Competition and Vice President of Walsh Canada, Craig Lacerf.
Thanks, Jonathan. I want to say hats off to all the executive and those involved in the competition. Can we give them a round of applause, please? So, welcome. I know we started a bit late. Apologize for that. I think the traffic's extra bad. The Blue Jays home opener. Go Jays! So, welcome to the 2017 Student Bid Competition Gala. We're holding it in the same place as last year. Apologize for the screen here. We didn't learn as much as we thought we did last year, but we certainly would encourage you to come see it. It's going to be playing throughout the reception here. I want to talk a little bit about the bid competition. This year we had 80 teams submit.
The link saying it's fine.
80.
Can I check?
9 different schools all across Canada, from BC to Nova Scotia. That's an awesome turnout. We had teams from the Nova Scotia Community College, La Cité, and Ottawa. We had Ryerson, George Brown, Centennial, Humber, in Toronto. We had Niagara College. We had the British Columbia Institute of Technology. We had the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. So we had some awesome competition in schools. We had 62 compliant bids. Unfortunately, 18 were non-compliant. I could talk a little bit about that. You know, with the bid competition, I'm going to tell you some stories about bidding and tendering, but it's the real life. Unfortunately, you have to be almost perfect, if not perfect, to have a good bid, to be compliant. And the more constraints and things they ask you to do are what causes some of the anomalies. Not everything is interpreted the same way, understood, but you have to understand to ask the right questions. And that's what the competition's about, is to teach some of these things. You know, in it we had a new thing we've added, health and safety. You know, it is at the forefront. It is one of the biggest criteria of pre-qualification that we face. So it was one of the ones that those that didn't submit their plans, unfortunately, were not compliant. If you didn't submit your site mobilization plan, you were not compliant. The owner wants to know that you know what you're doing in order to organize to do a project for them. And it's part of their evaluation criteria. And some of it, it's either a yes or a no. They know it or they don't. So that's unfortunately some of the things. We had 6 late bids. You know, I know that there was one team that came within milliseconds of submitting it, the time on the clock. So, you know, things come down to the wire. And it's kind of important that everybody understands that's, in the real world, what we deal with every day. We had 24 different sponsors. We had 14 different executives, 10 different volunteers. We've had 80 industry mentors. We had several local construction associations involved. It's a massive undertaking, and hats off to everyone that was involved. It is student-run. Everything that was done has been organized by students in the executive, and this year they did a fabulous job. TCIC to Canada, and it's an organization based across Canada, and it's for the education and the furtherment of construction and continuing professional development and accreditation. And it's a lot of the stuff that we do is to promote about the awareness and things that you learn during the bid competition. And we became a patron sponsor of this over 10 years ago. And there's been a number that have been right with us from the start. We have this year 24 different sponsors, and it's been great support for those. Let's give a round of applause for the sponsors. So I want to talk to you about why it's important. I'll give you a personal perspective. Why do I think it's important that everybody understand how to bid a job? If you can't bid and win a job, you do not have any work. It's simple as that. So everybody has to understand the process and the rules of the game. And unfortunately, the rules of the game have been set out by a lot of people over years, and time have gone by. We have legal precedents. We have different methodologies employed, and a lot of it has to do with how you bid the work. And so in order to be successful as a company, you have to learn to either bid the work or negotiate the work successfully. And a lot of that has to do with some of the fine points of the competition. Why it's important for you, again, going into the industry as an employer, this is what I look for. I look for people that understand how to be job ready, how to actually be able to function in my company right out of the gate. And this is the competition that sort of sets the stage for that. You know, mentorship. Hopefully you've made some connections to people that were your mentors through this process, and you're going to take those forward and you're going to meet them later in life. And that's what it's about. It's about networking. I hope everybody here introduces themselves to somebody new. It's about that interaction and the networking, and you never know. I have people in this room that I've dealt with on and off throughout my career for over 30 years. And we phase in and phase out of active relationships, but we've always had a relationship. And it's by making these connections early on in your careers that they're gonna profit later in life, because they'll come home to pay spades and dividends long time later. Some big picture comments. You know, bidding and tendering is a unique thing. You know, there was a recent bid that we were involved with a York University and Student Quad, and we were involved and we submitted the bid, and you know, run up to the desk, and there's the person at the architect's office accepting the envelope, and then running back to the desk, and they have a clock, and they're stamping it, and then running back and forth. We synced up the clocks in advance, and we went and said 20059, and it was supposed to be in by 200. So I ended up phoning up the architect and said, you know, wow, it was an awkward close. He said, yeah, too bad you're late. I go, what? No, we're not late. He said, no, you're late. I said, no, we made it by a second. And he goes, no, you didn't. I said, yeah, we did. So I had to actually send him the case law that explained that 200 is 200 until it turns 201. That's the nuance of it, because they didn't say 20000, then the clock was still good at 0.59. Didn't win the job, but I certainly can say that you know, those are the kind of things that you have to understand. You know, I was involved in another job, Martin Stouffville Hospital, a large build finance, $100 million plus hospital. And we were 15 seconds late delivering the bid. People worked months on that bid. 15 people worked for months on that bid. And we didn't actually get to submit. It's tough. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. You know, whether someone gets delayed in traffic, someone thinks it's the wrong address. You know, I've had people that couldn't deliver a bid or a tender in a hospital. You can imagine if someone's got a phobia about hospitals, you don't know it, you send them, they're delivering and receiving it in a hospital, and they can't get down the corridor to the bid office. I've actually had a friend of mine deliver a tender for somebody that worked for me that I didn't realize they had a phobia about hospitals, and they delivered the tender, the competition did for us. It's amazing what comes down when bidding and tendering. You know, I've had a personal experience when I was years ago, when I was delivering a tender, and old phone reception, and you had those big brick phones, bigger than this, and that was what you used, and reception was terrible, and you had to be near a window, and you're in a building, and it's an old concrete building, I literally went downstairs and had to run up 7 flights of stairs, push it in, and I clicked it in the clock. It clicked, and it clicked like half a second later, and the time changed. In the end, we got that job, and then I stuffed the envelope, handed it in. But, you know, those are the kind of things that you learn about things. We had York University did another job there. Full electronic submission. You actually had to submit it and upload all your documents. Who here had a problem with your computer within the final seconds or minutes of the competition to submit your price? Can I get a show of hands? Okay, I see at least about 10 hands here. So it happens, you know, so you have to be prepared. It's about running the demo in advance. It's making sure that you've tested it, that your computer has a good connection, you get your battery on, your power on. There are a lot of new nuances to the new bidding and tendering. One of the other things was, you know, when you have a non-compliant bid, we've received a job and we're doing a $50 million job downtown. We were third in bidding in price. We ended up getting the job because we were the lowest compliant bid. The other first two got tossed out. And in fact, it got challenged in city council. And there was a debate for 2 days about it. It's kind of messy sometimes, but that's about following the rules. And that's what this competition was about, for you guys to understand that that's really what we face every day. So a couple things I want to say. Compton Shaw, I don't know if he arrived yet. Compton, you here? I'm giving him a shout out anyways. I want a round of applause. This gentleman spent a lot of time helping and mentoring the executive committee. And we also had another volunteer, Glenn Ackerley of Weirfolds. Yeah, we had a real lawyer doing our compliancy checks. We actually had his advice throughout the process so that we were fair and as we could be, given the parameters. With that, I'd like to maybe kick this off by starting off with the awards. We have our first award winners, which are esteemed mentors. These are awards presented to the mentors that provided had their team wrote up the best write-up about their contributions. So these people, their teams thought as a great contributor towards their success in this competition. And maybe I'd like to just read out some names. I know there should be one of them in the house, and we'll see if there's more. First one, Latif Hazazi from Greco Construction of Toronto.
I'm just gonna send you a direct email because there might be an issue with that link.
Can we send out the emails with that link?
It might.
Everybody's clicking that link.
Everybody's clicking that link. I'm just gonna resend the new link.
We also have Norm Lux of LCVM Consultants in Alberta. I don't know that Norm made the trek, but thank you, Norm, if you're online. Well done. We'll have that for you as well.
I'm just typing the link right now.
We also have Chris Arning of Bird
Let me try.
Construction out of Mississauga.
At
Did Chris make it?
TCIC.com.
No? Okay. And we also had Kelvin Mitchell of Gillum Group
Yeah, TCIC.
of Toronto. Kelvin. No? Well, congratulations to the esteemed mentors. Well done. Thank you. And with that, Jonathan.
Because right now, I open this link right here, the same link that I sent you.
So now the awards will officially begin. The first category we'll be presenting is the BIM Innovation. I present to you the director's team for the 2017 Senior
It's live right now.
So will everybody else receive it? Will everybody see it?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Safra Yunus, and I am this year's BIM Technical Director. And here I have with me.
My name is Robert Lin, this year's BIM Director for the TCIC bid competition. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank all the teams that participated. It's on top of all the works that you guys had, so good on you for participating in this category. This is year 2 of the BIM category, so we feel like we've really laid down some solid foundations for the future years to come. And these students were simply amazing. You guys really raised the bar and went above and beyond what Safra and I expected. Looking through your models, reading through your reports, they were just phenomenal. And keep up the good work and keep pushing. So we'd like to.
So with further ado, before I start to announce the winners, I would just like to say for any of the other categories that are where winners come up, can we please ask you to come up? We'll hand you your check and come to the left to take a photo, and then we'll proceed with the rest of the categories. So for third place, we have Precision from Ryerson. Okay, in second place, we have Sentinel Group from Centennial.
Okay, so we're gonna make this fast and efficient. We're gonna do it all like that. Come on up, shake hands, grab the check, come on back over, snap the pics, then we'll go back.
And I'd like to announce this year's first place winners, CCSV, Ryerson. Please come up.
Am I projecting right now? Yes, I'm on the screen. No, okay, good. Yeah, give me like a minute. I know. I'm trying to get the live stream fixed. Send out the link.
Now we'll move on to the most professional award.
Okay. You just close that.
Yep.
Don't close it. Just leave it open.
Yep, gotcha.
Thank you all for coming out today. My name is Jason Kraft. I'm this year's Director of Operations, part of the Executive Committee this year. Before I get started, I'd like to represent the Executive Committee by saying thank you to Jonathan Kerr for leading us throughout the competition and making it as best as it could be, giving us the tools to push the boundaries and ensure that the competition was as great as it was. So the Most Professional Award is a special one. We give the students guidelines as to what their bid submission should look like in terms of, all the package put together, along with their email communication and RFI responses. But the three teams we'll be mentioning have gone above and beyond these guidelines and have shown us what clear communication, whether through email or RFI submittals, looks like, or should look like rather, in the construction industry. So without further ado, Jonathan Butcher, John Butcher, rather, will be announcing the third and second place winners.
All right, thank you, Jason. So in third place for the most professional bid submission award goes to Spartan Construction Inc. These students are from Georgetown College in the third year of the construction management degree program. So in third place. Spartan Construction. So now, in second place for the most professional bid submission award, this award goes to Sentinel Group from Centennial College. Sentinel Group from Centennial College.
And this year's first place winner of the most professional award goes to Precision Contracting Inc. from Ryerson University.
So deflated, yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Keaton Ambrose. I'm this year's QTO Director. Alongside me is my colleague Daryl, the Sub-Director for this year. Regarding the closest to target price, this year we wanted to include the most compliant as well as the most complete. So some of the winners that you're going to see coming up here today not only had an excellent bid submission, but were also very competitive in getting it close to an industry standard number. So without further ado, I'm going to pass off to Daryl, who's going to start announcing.
And so for third place, we're going to have Precision Contracting from Ryerson.
Celebrating already.
And for second place, we have Spartan Construction from Georgetown.
And now for the first place prize, for the closest to target price, we have Bethany Construction from George Brown College. And now for the first place prize, for the closest to target price, we have Bethany Construction, George Brown College.
So I have the- So we're in the final awards for the night. The final prize will be for most accurate and complete. This is for teams that went above and beyond. They're not only accurate with as close to the numbers as possible, with also the sub-trades. They had every complete document that we needed for this bid submission that was outlined in the instructions to bidders. So Evan will be presenting the next two awards.
Third place for most accurate and complete is Rocky Mountain Estimates from Northern Alberta Institute of Technology.
We'll be sending them a picture. They won't be here. One second.
Second place for most accurate and complete is Bethany Construction from George Brown College. Second place for most
The one we've been waiting for. The first place team, Young Construction from George Brown College. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for joining us today to celebrate the 2017 National Student Bid Competition Award Ceremony. I would also like to thank all the program coordinators, professors, as well as educational facilities for continuing to appreciate the value of this experience. It is with great appreciation that we would like to thank all of the associations for their assistance during this competition. To the mentors involved this year, we would like to thank you on behalf of the TCIC as well as the students for taking the time out of your schedule to assist teams with the industry practices and procedures in an attempt to strengthen their submissions. Thank you again to all of our sponsors for your involvement and various contributions, as well as your belief in the benefits of the competitors that which they endure for this experience. It truly signifies the relationship that has grown between the industry and academia. Now I'd like to introduce John Mollenhauer to continue with closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to begin by once again congratulating the winners. It's been an extraordinary night tonight. We've seen a lot of winners from a lot of different schools. The quality of the submissions this year was truly extraordinary. So each year, it's been our experience each year, the quality just gets better and better. Just want to talk for a little, just for a moment, about the importance of this event. First of all, if you have a quick look at the Platinum sponsor page, Acon, Bird, Broccolini, Eastern, ED, Innicon, Canadian, Ledcor, PCL, Mattamy, Walsh, some of the biggest employers in our industry in Canada. And I think the fact that they've chosen to participate, and by the way, it's not just employers. I neglected to mention the general contractors section and the Construction Institute, of course. And I think it's particularly significant that the largest and most significant employers in our industry in Canada are here supporting this event. That says a lot about the importance of what it is we're trying to do today. Jonathan mentioned that this is sort of the ultimate collaboration, I think, between employers or the industry and academia. We are trying to, as an industry, collaborate with academics and help develop curriculums that make a genuine difference, we help breed employees that can make, as Craig Lasserf said in his opening remarks, can make a significant contribution day one when they graduate. So we've talked a little bit about the sponsors. This wouldn't happen without them. We are enormously grateful to all our sponsors. We are also enormously grateful to all the associations that have helped and are participating and working with local employers and working. I'm delighted to see a record number of mentors this year. And the mentors, too, are very proud to work with students and dumbfounded by the quality of the work that's coming from the students. So I think you should give yourselves all a hand. I've neglected to mention so far the executive that have worked tirelessly on your behalf. And Jonathan and his executive, I can tell you that for the folks who worked closely with them during this process, they were an extraordinary bunch. They worked hard, they were efficient, they were fair, and when I say they were fair, I need to underline the process for reviewing bids, for example, was very transparent. And I was genuinely impressed. So too were my colleagues that were working alongside. And so my hat goes off to the group of executive. Cheers. You should all be very proud of just having participated today. I would encourage the schools, the folks you work with, to support this bid competition going forward. I can't think, I had a call into Deb Matthews, my friend Deb Matthews, who's would have been here tonight if she could have made it work on behalf of the province. I had a chance to chat with the Premier on the weekend about the bid competition. She talked about how dumbfounded she was by the fact that industry and academia could work in a collaboration like this, and it's been truly remarkable. So we're getting noticed not just inside our industry, but outside. And I think that's meaningful. I think other industries could take a page from our book and collaborate with industry and employers a little more than they do. In any event, we're going to call it a night. Help yourselves to a drink if you still have tickets. I would strongly discourage anybody from driving that doesn't need to drive. I'm delighted that there's been such a good turnout. And thank you to the mentors, facilitators, teachers, representatives from the colleges and universities that have come out here tonight to support us. Again, my congratulations to the executive for a job well done. and for the students for an extraordinary job. Congratulations, and have a pleasant day.
Let's get wasted, boy.
Like they're gonna get people to talk in front of the camera. So I need
And now it's time to do some networking, everyone. This is what we do in industry. So please introduce yourself to sponsors. Sponsors, look at your next employees.
people like giving testimonies. And I need
We would
to
also
get a
like,
second camera.
excuse me, everybody, if all the winners, please gather on the side to have
So like you shoot on a side angle. I shoot
pictures
on
taken as well,
the second photographer.
and executive on the side, please.
Second
Thank you very
man.
much.
Go take photos.